All right, everyone, there are problems in the workers' paradise of Sweden, you know, that socialist nation, but this has little to do with economic issues. You think what you will about them. I've made my feelings clear. It looks like the Prime Minister of Sweden may very well resign. What happened, backstory here, is that there was an IT leak, a leak of quite confidential material some time ago. And the government covered it up and didn't tell anybody that anything had happened, possibly hazarding elements of their military as well as people's personal info at the time. Whoops, that's a problem. See, normally when something like that happens, if you're responsible, if it's a responsible company, a responsible government, a responsible agency, they disclose the fact that it went on once they do the quick patchwork to make sure that the problem has stopped. They stop it, they come out and tell people, we made a mistake, someone got fired, someone got reprimanded, or, you know, it was just a rudimentary mistake. It could happen to anybody, please forgive us. And then you move on from that. But you disclose to people that there is a problem. Scandinavian culture, insofar as my speaking with people from Scandinavia, is a little bit different from many parts of Europe. That is, it's not so much the fact that a problem happened that it was covered up. The cover-up is what rankles people in such cultures. The idea of a lack of openness and transparency. It goes right along with like being open and tolerant, I guess, culturally, which is why Sweden is having problems. I think probably the motivation was mainly political. Basically, oh, if we own up to the fact that we done goofed, it might help the Swedish Democrats or some other outside group. Of course, the prime minister there is a so-called moderate, which means, you know, decently far left, like Bernie Sanders mode. Maybe even a little bit further out there. And they don't want to risk their jobs because they have a nice cushy lifestyle and don't have to deal with the socialized bullshit that the general population does. So that's really what happened. And so he may resign. Others may resign. I believe several people whose names I could never pronounce have already been sacked. And so it's a major happening in Sweden. I couldn't think of a better time for it to happen considering the other problems in the European region with the EU. And they've got Brexit and they've got the migrant and refugee crises, which are separate from one another largely. Both the far right and far left try to conflate them for different reasons, but they're not entirely the same thing. So you got lots of problems in Europe. You've got, of course, Poland saying we won't denigrate our culture, Hungary standing with them as well, the Slovaks and the Czech doing their own thing, the Austrians and Italians trying to reform their situations. You've got boat people, you've got the problems in Greece with their economy, you've certainly got continued problems in Spain and Italy anyway, and then you've got these Scandinavian nations. One problem with Western Europe and to some extent with Scandinavia is that the people there think their cultures are so absolutely wonderful that everyone will just assimilate automatically and they don't have to put in any effort. It will never happen. Europe is hazarded by beliefs like that. And they're silly beliefs. They're silly. They come, oddly enough, from the same place that populism comes from, generally. It's the same primordial goo from which both the ethnocentric multiculturalists come from and the populists. Of course, the populists understand the situation a little bit better. Then you get offshoots of those that are more vicious on both sides, that are nuts, but they gain popularity when no one wants to listen to sense or sanity. So Sweden has enough problems already. Now people find, oh shit, our government lost a bunch of critical intel and didn't bother to tell anybody for a significant length of time. And it was that which, of course, was the problem. Oddly enough, any hit they would have politically taken from simply disclosing very quickly the fact that there was a problem, things aren't exactly perfect at all times and a mistake was made, that political hit would have been probably a lot smaller, and I don't think you'd be talking about the prime minister resigning or something like that. Now, of course, with a grain of salt, because this comes from Fake News Business Insider, the Nordic page there, so we're not sure 100% how reliable it is, and I don't speak Swedish, so I'm not going to be able to get it from their media. Maybe someone here who views my channel from Sweden or who understands Swedish can tell me, is this like totally accurate? Your prime minister is actually considering resigning? And this page says the whole government might resign. Like, are you going to have a snap election or something like that? But I'm not going to throw a clickbait into the title. because I can't be 100% sure that that's actually what's happening. I do know, however, the Prime Minister, at the very least, is rumored to be considering the concept of resignation, which, again, would be a good thing, I think, overall for Sweden. That's about all. Peace out.